Hi and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is VlogsBoutNothin. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your Tuesday to join me. I really appreciate that. I hope wherever you're at, you're having the best possible Taco Tuesday of 2024 possible. It's only going to get better. That's what I tell myself. And then sometimes I wake up and it's far worse than I could have possibly ever imagined. Although earlier I did run into my uncle who I hadn't seen in such a long time, and it was nice seeing my uncle. I spoke with him, and the last time I spoke with him wasn't the happiest of times. So it was nice to see him. That was something personal that happened to me today. That was actually really uplifting. And yeah, so I hope that you guys are doing well. I'm hanging in there. I'm fighting the good fight. I'm being my best self. It's the only thing I can do. It's all that I know how to do. If I knew how to do anything else, I wouldn't be doing this, maybe. I'm not sure where that fits in with the relevancy of what I want to talk about today, which is actually in the description below. It's a video on Ozempic. And we've talked about Ozempic. I want to say it with an extravagant sort of, flair at the end. But this particular drug we've talked about on the channel before. And it is not a new drug. It's for people that have diabetes, from what I can believe, from what I can recall, from what I can recall. But regardless, I definitely encourage anyone and everyone out there to also do their own research. Definitely don't ever listen to the host of Vlogs Bout Nothing guy. He's just here to provide some background noise. And I was going to say music, but I'm not singing here on the channel, so unfortunately you'll find no background music for me. However, if you ever find yourself making a tortilla or making a casserole or making whatever it is, and you're just in the kitchen and you got a really cool smart fridge and you need to see this space more of your day, just put me on the refrigerator. I'll keep you company. We can act like we can role play in the kitchen. I'll tell you what to do. Send me a request on Patreon. I'll read an ingredient list, and I'll stop talking about this right now because it has absolutely nothing to do with Ozempic, other than Ozempic. In my opinion, it always has been something that if it is going to be prescribed to people, the biggest part of unlocking the potential benefits of a pharmaceutically prescribed OTC drug. And that's saying a lot because, in my opinion, I'm more of a homeopathic kind of a guy, or more of a nothing guy. I'm more of a nothing guy. I host a show called Vlogs About Nothing, so quite often I always think the best thing in life to do is nothing. Everyone wants to do something. We'll do nothing. That's a direct quote, obviously, from your man, Mr. Costanza, who is way more of an influence in my life than I'd ever like to publicly admit. Something that I just have publicly admitted. But, I mean, who couldn't help to recognize that kind of neurosis that we all have sometimes? I know that as a middle-aged heterosexual man in America, oftentimes George Costanza and I have some relatable things. More at the beginning of the show than kind of at the end, where he started to just more like unravel. But ultimately, I feel like I had my unraveling period, and now I'm new. I'm a phoenix. I'm rising from the ashes to talk to you today about Ozempic, which is not something that I would use for any reason. But unless I needed a reason and a doctor told me and we were cool about making sure my insurance wasn't charged $1,000 for every dosage of this miracle drug, that's incredibly ridiculous. There's ridiculous, and then there's incredibly ridiculous. $1,000 for a single dose of Ozempic here in America, that's what it's going for, by the way, is really expensive. We're talking, if I don't know how many doses are needed, but let's just say on a conservative level, as somebody who knows nothing, there's 2 doses needed every month of Ozempic in order for it to properly work its best. Just 2. That's $2,000 on 2 doses of medication for 1 month. If I do the math correct, and again, you're not looking at Einstein here, you're looking at an Albert, definitely not Einstein, and definitely not anything even remarkably close to understanding the kind of basic foundation of math. I blame my educational system. They taught me everything but math. I think 12 times 2 is 24. So on a low level, it's $24,000 a year to give yourself a medication that you need for whatever reason. Say the doctor prescribed it to you to lose weight, or there's a number of other things, help drink. There's all kinds of different alleged benefits of taking Ozempic now. It's not just losing weight. So in case you didn't get that, it's now considered a medication that is transcending a lot of other diseases and kinds of bad stuff. It's fixing that. There's a lot of empirical evidence that's been brought forth from different scientists that are embodying the fact that this particular drug may be what scientists and medical professionals call, quote unquote, a miracle drug. And what's funny is that originally I had panned out the title of the video so that I could hammer on in the fact that there is a particular provision of law that allows for government section, let's see, let's just dedicate ourselves. Section 1498. I could be wrong. Again, I made a disclaimer, but don't ever listen to me. There's a specific provision within the law of the United States that allows for our government to essentially deregulate. And I'm not a fan of deregulation, but when it's breaking up a patent that is what otherwise stands in the way of making that particular drug's recipe public so that it then can be sold generic, that's the provision of that rule. So it ensures that if things like this happen and pharmaceutical companies refuse to negotiate fair prices for us, its customers, and the United States consumers, good old Uncle Sam can exercise that power that only he has. And Uncle Sam, please, are you back home from your vacation with Uncle Anthony? Can you please do something about this? You've been on vacation far too long. Would you mind just coming back on down to earth, to reality for a moment, and making sure that Section 1498 is in fact enforced by you so that people can afford this medication without having to argue with people who are never going to budge. These people have no souls. They want money. This is their kind of oxygen, and they will not stop unless they have the bag. This is dedication at its best. I mean, have you seen a local downtown? The amount of dedication that we apply towards finance and arbitrary magical numbers in the mathematical world as they specifically concern accounting that impact an economy that we all kind of know is just as made up as whoever we decide on a whim to be the banker on our Friday night Monopoly game sessions. Is like, who's in charge? Uncle Sam, we know that you're in charge. Please enact that specific provision that will allow pharmaceutical companies to produce a generic version of Ozempic so that people can benefit and actually take their medication. If it's a miracle drug, quote unquote, and if it can help people, it is your job, Uncle Sam, to get on, the idea of doing your job. And it's the only thing we don't ask a lot from you. You ask a lot from us, that's fine. We happily and sometimes begrudgingly, with all honesty, comply. Sometimes you're right. Most of the time you're absolutely wrong, but it's also because you've had a bad group of people around you. So we're trying to become friends so that you can have some better influences around you. I hope that you guys all have a really good day. Thanks for watching my channel. And really, the government needs to do something about this so that it doesn't bankrupt Medicare and so that states don't go bankrupt from just allotting certain amounts of money to people who are not going to be all the people who want Ozempic and or moreover need Ozempic. Because it's a weird thing now. It's actually being discussed like that. This is apparently a world-changing drug. Man, what are they putting in Ozempic? We want to know. I hope that you guys have a really good day, okay? Bye.